and even into parts of Alabama. So how much rain are we talking? Well, it's possible in the orange we could see as much as 5 to 8 inches of rainfall. Some places could see locally high. New Orleans, Wednesday evening. Winds shaking those trees. Early gust reports at about 40 miles per hour. And as I just showed you on the now we're starting to get that southerly wind, and that means storm surge flooding is really only just beginning for some of you here as the winds have shifted direction around the weighing in the wind out there. And again, we're talking about storm surge flooding that is now just beginning to reach places like the Civic Center. We're talking 4 feet of water just within the last
and be together. And once we did that, we realized his greatest adventure is just beginning.
Welcome to
A promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Yeah, right. Pepperoni pockets, an atomic brownie, cuckoo crust.
Picture to start shopping and shop the store without wandering the aisles. You won't find a toolbox like this.
I never felt this way before. Give us some more.
John Tyson's motto was, when better chickens are
super tough hose that's ultra light as well. Run over an ordinary hose and it'll easily burst, but the Bionic Flex Pro hose stays intact no matter what runs over it. Hose is tangle-proof. You can get the 25-foot Bionic Flex Pro hose for just $19.95 with free shipping. But wait, order today and we'll upgrade your order to a
the Weather Channel.
Deck at the Golden Nugget, and we're still getting slashed with those strong outer rainfall bands. But on the southern side now of the eye wall, notice how something like this could easily become been completely brought all the way in because the winds were so strong from Laura. And this was earlier today before some of the strongest gusts and well before the eye of the you've seen so far?
Yes, Evan, I've been out all night in it, and needless to say, it ramped up really quick, and resort area, cabanas gone, bricks taken down, trees broken. and in the recreational area with the swimming pools and stuff.
Debris out here. It's not just the aluminum, it's parts of roofing, it's part of AC units, it's part of glass as well, and poles too, and trees that have come down. Are you seeing any water on the roads or any sort of ponding or anything like that?
Looked more to me like
in terms of wind damage to the property, we know what that's like. Do you see a lot of trees down? Do you see any other cars? I know you mentioned that RV.
The high-end Cat 4, as Tevin just mentioned, when it made landfall, but it does take a while for those winds to unwind and calm down. So winds of 110, that is still very strong, and we still have the high wind.
Miles that take us back to the people we've missed, and to those who could make this summer mean more than ever before. Get the most out of those.
Favorites. Yum!
All right, folks, an extremely dangerous Laura leaving a path of destruction. You are not fully prepared. In fact, the National Hurricane Center called this unsurvivable. Listen to the power of the wind in this video. Every cranny, every corner, every seam that was not sealed up, you could hear the power of the wind whistling. It was very eerie. It was very as the pressure dropped and the winds continue to pick up here in Lake Charles. Let's go to Kelly now. And Kelly, you're standing by, and we want to talk more about how this storm will impact people.
Especially here in Louisiana, where we continue to have hurricane warnings in effect. All that purple you see there, Shreveport included. Outside of that, we've got the tropical storm warnings in effect. A Category 5 hurricane. Thank goodness it ran out of warm water and then it moved ashore because it was still strengthening as it came north. So there's the pressure. It was 938 millibars. Of rain to go in places like Lake Charles, Louisiana. So there is going to be that flash flood from rain, and then east of center, we still have storm surge flooding that is even just seeing wind damage reports all over the place here in Louisiana, and we do expect more power outages as we move our system northward throughout the day today. Well, the Weather Channel's Stephanie Abrams.
It's now 1:15 and it is too dangerous to be out there. Glass has been shattering.
Sheetrock come from? That's essentially the wall, but sometimes you can find it on the roof as well. This is littered all throughout this parking deck and parking garage. Definitely not the largest piece I see, but one flexing of the winds out. And look at how the rain is also coming through here now. We're not outside. We are covered. We are in a parking deck right now. But because Laura's winds are now coming out of the west, 6 or 7 more down the way that have been brought in from the force of the winds. But keep in mind, the winds initially on the northern side of the eye wall came from the miles as the crow flies to our north and east. 4 feet of storm surge rise in the last hour. Okay, so now that water is not
Louisiana is under a flash flood warning, and the flash flood watch continues through this evening, along with a hurricane warning right now. We'll see how that changes as we go on through the next few. In fact, Dee Ritter, which is north of Lake Charles in the eye wall, gusting about 85 or 86 miles an hour. And remember, the gust down in Lake and we're going to get some gustier winds, too, through the morning, like this gust right here.
There you go. Yeah, power outages all over the place, Mike, and we do think that conditions will be deteriorating as Laura continues. Louisiana. Again, Baton Rouge, you're well away from the center. You're well to the east. There's Baton Rouge. You do have that southeast wind coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. The strongest winds as we move this forward throughout the day today. It's still going to be a hurricane at this point. You can see Shreveport getting in on some of those stronger winds on the northern side of that eye. Heavy rain that could cause flash flooding, very strong winds enough to knock out your power. So if you're still with power right now, do the things you need to do right now to get ready for a power outage. Right now across the Gulf Coast, widespread power outages in the purple and the red. Be prepared for the lights to go out as well. So make sure those cell phones are charged up. Make sure you put some you know, 30, 40, 50 inches, but still 5 to 8 inches is enough to do some flooding in many areas. And Tevin, I know you know Little Rock very well. They already have a surplus.
What Laura did here in Lake Charles, Louisiana, this is courtesy of Mark Sudduth. I want to show you how strong the winds can get. 98 miles an hour. What does that look like? What can that towards the west as the winds move through? Now we've got a different direction because the hurricane has moved towards the north, so we're on the southern side of the eye wall here. Still gusty winds. Take even more time potentially if that storm surge forecast does verify. We already know about 4 feet of water starting to encroach along the Lake Charles Civic Center area, which is about and ride out this storm. We've got continuing coverage of this storm from Lake Charles, Mike Seidels, and Alexandria. Let's go back to Kelly, though, who's in Weather Channel headquarters. Kelly.
50 miles per hour winds. Meanwhile, more than 9 feet of storm surge has inundated the coastline right where the hurricane made landfall near Cameron, Louisiana.
Choices make a big difference, like delicious fruits and veggies. However you healthy. Naked.
Now you can make any morning of the week feel like the weekend.
Dogs don't know what's good for them. Luckily, you do. Greenie's Dental Treats.
I wouldn't have my son if it wasn't for St. Jude. You give them to allow them to do that. Thank you.
$500,000 trees in areas devastated by wildfires. Subaru, more than a car company.
Yeah, I'm married. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Red sweater, button-down shirt, like a good neighbor. State Farm is there.
Morning, noon, night. Indulgent, delicious.
You don't even have to remember which filter I need. Just go to filtersfast.com. Their fast filter finder finds the right fridge filters, air filters, plus air purifiers.
Or a taillight your brother-in-law broke with his bad golf swing. Got it. At CarParts.com, we know the most important part of all is the one you need to get your car back on the road. We carry a channel. Hurricane season doesn't stop for a pandemic. Stay safe every day. Storm safety in a pandemic all season long, right here on the Weather Channel.
All right, folks, welcome. This is one of the awesome weather producers at the Weather Channel. So many folks behind the scenes trying to get us the latest information because, quite frankly, when you're out here in these conditions, you can't do much. The cell phone can only of that water level rise, and we'll only see it go up from there. Let's go up to Mike Seidel in Alexandria, Louisiana. Mike, I know you're getting crushed, my friend, by Laura. And
So it's really coming down, and you know, we get these gusts like this one. We earlier gusted to 85 miles an hour, recently about 53 to 55 miles an hour, but it's out. Sometimes you're wondering, oh my gosh, you remember back in Rita, some of these areas were without power for 2 weeks. We're hoping that nobody has to lose power for that long this time.
Yeah, Mike, another question for you. So when the rain started, was this something that was abrupt for you, or was it a trickle first and then the bottom just fell out? Because for us here,
the wind howling through the hotel, and I'm laying there, you know, keeping an eye on the Weather Channel, watching the wind observations. It's not one of those nights where if you're a true then we'll be out of the woods except for the aftermath, the cleanup, and getting the power back on. And Kevin, still wondering how high that surge is going to get in Lake Charles, because
yeah, we are near high tide. That was right around 4:45 this morning. So hopefully